this is page 11 of Standard 2. So I'm just pointing out that we have 2 skills that we need to be able to do for us to get a level 2. So the first one is we have to be able to combine like terms, which we've been practicing and we're going to continue to practice. The second skill is that we have to learn how to do the distributive property. So if you think about the word distributive, distribute means to hand out. So if I had needed to distribute these paper clips to my students, I would hand one to this student and I would hand one to this student. So each student in the room gets a paper clip, right? That's what distribute means. Okay? So we're going to take that. So these are the 2 skills we're talking about. We're talking about this skill today. We already talked about this skill. And we're going to go to page 16. Okay. We're just going to work with positive numbers today for our level 2, and then we'll throw in some negatives tomorrow. So the first one we're going to do is, you can see that there are parentheses in this problem. So that might make you think of order of operations. Okay. Now the reason that we are not doing order of operations is because this says x plus 7. Do you know what x plus 7 is? Nope, me either. Because you cannot combine those to make it 7x. It doesn't work that way. So we can't do parentheses for our order of operations. So now we need to do multiplication. So what's happening in between the 4 and the parentheses is a times. Okay? And when we distribute, what that means is give to all. Okay? That's what distribute means. So I'm going to give this 4 times to both of the things inside my parentheses. Okay? So here's what I'm going to have. I'm going to have 4 times, give it to the x, and there's a plus sign there, so we can put plus, 4 times 7. Now I'll actually multiply those out. When I have 4 times x, that gives me the answer of just 4x, plus 4 times 7 is 28. And I'm done. Double line that because I am finito. Or you can circle it, whatever you want to do. Okay? Let's go over to this one. And how do I know that I'm doing the distributive property? Well, these parentheses should be your first sign that you're doing the distributive property. Okay, the second sign is that you've got an x in here, so you can't actually do this subtraction. Okay, so here's what I've got to do. I've got to give that 3 times to both of those parts. So I've got 3 times x minus 3 times 4. So 3 times x is just 3x minus 3 times 4 is 12. Done. Wait a minute. This one, the number's in the back. Why is it in the back? It actually doesn't matter if it's on the back side of the parentheses or if it's on the front side of the parentheses. So it's still just 5 times. So if you'd prefer, you can scribble that out and write the 5 in the front. If that messes with your head a little bit and you want to write that 5 at the front, you can do that. Okay, so it's still just 5 times x, give it to both, plus 5 times 9. So that's 5x. 5 times 9 is 45. Okay, now you don't have to write it in the front because you're still just multiplying 8 times both of those things. Okay, and another way that some people like to write out the distributive property, they do this kind of, it almost looks like a rainbow. You're going to go 8 times x and 8 times 2. Okay, so you'll see that a lot and you'll see me do that a lot. Instead of writing it out like this, So once you feel comfortable, you can start just doing that for yourself instead of writing it out. But I'll write it out until we as a class feel comfortable, probably tomorrow. So I'm going to go 8 times x minus 8 times 2. Okay, so that's 8x here, minus 8 times 2 is 16. That's my answer. Okay. What if there's a number next to the x? It's still going to be 2 times, okay, or you can do this. It's still 2 times 3x, which is going to give me an answer of 2 times 3. Go ahead and do that multiplication. That's 6x plus, and then I also have to take 2 times 10, which is 20. Those of you who are really good at mental multiplication, you are going to love this distributive property because you're going to feel really confident and really comfortable doing the multiplication. Okay? So now we're going to multiply 4 times my 2x. 4 times. Even though it's on the back side, I'm still multiplying. I'm still giving this number to both of the numbers in the parentheses. 4 times 2y minus this time 4 times 6. 4 times 6. Got to give it to both. So 4 times 2 is 8y minus 4 times 6 is 24. Okay, so your practice problems are just the problems down here at the bottom of the page. There's only 8 of them. Okay, and for these 8 problems, I do want you to say what number should be distributed. So even if it's on the front side or if it's on the back side, front side or back side, I want you to tell me which number you're going to distribute. So that's the 2 in the front. The 2 is getting distributed. But you can also use this for your work. So we're going 2 times x minus 2 times 6. And you can do this, or you can write equals. It doesn't matter to me. Final answer, 2x minus 12. Okay? And this answer, because those of you who are at home only, this will be entered. These will not be entered on GoFormative, but the ones we do tomorrow will be. So before we start class tomorrow, we'll go over what these answers should be so that you can feel comfortable and confident that you are doing it correctly before you actually enter some for me to check. Okay?